The Great Wall of China is regarded as one of the most impressive architectural feats in history. Stretching over the northern borders, it is estimated to be over 13,000 miles long. So big, in fact, it can be seen from the moon. Or can it? The Great Wall of China is a series of fortifications that were built across the historical northern borders of ancient Chinese states and Imperial China as protection against various nomadic groups from the Eurasian steppe. Several walls were built from as early as the 7th century BC, with selective stretches later joined by Qin Shi Huang, the first emperor of China. In the following centuries, the importance placed on building and maintaining the walls did not wane, with successive emperors adding to the grand fortifications during their respective reigns, the best-known sections being built under the Qing Dynasty. Furthermore, the defensive characteristics of the Great Wall were enhanced by the construction of watchtowers, troop barracks, garrison stations, signalling capabilities through smoke and fire, and the fact that the path of the Great Wall also served as a transportation corridor. As well as defence, the wall served other purposes as well, including the imposition of duties on goods transported along the Silk Road, regulation or encouragement of trade, and the control of immigration and emigration in and out of China. The Chinese were already familiar with the techniques of wall building when the first attempts to fortify large swathes of territory began. This wasn't initially done on a united front, however, but were instead constructed by conflicting factions within China during the Warring States period. These were modest in size and scale when compared to later efforts, with the walls being built to withstand the attack of small arms such as swords and spears. The walls were made mostly of stone or by stamping earth and gravel between board frames. Following his victory over his rivals, King Sheng of Qin ordered the destruction of most of these walls as they divided up his now unified kingdom. However, seeing value in the northern walls, he not only maintained them but added to them as well, beginning the trend that would be mirrored by later rulers. The movement of materials proved challenging for builders though, with many opting to use local stone instead of creating supply chains from further away. The early iteration of the Great Wall continued for the better part of a millennia before being largely abandoned. Despite the Qin walls stretching an estimated 600 kilometers, the walls decayed over time and became undefendable, owing mainly to the limitations of good material available, the immense cost, and the danger involved with constructing them. The Great Wall concept was revived again under the Qing Dynasty in the 14th century, and in doing so, the immense structure that we know today began its life. In constant fear of the rampaging Mongol horde, they had failed to gain a clear upper hand over the Mongol tribes after successive battles, and the long-drawn conflict was taking a toll on the empire. The Qing adopted a new strategy to keep the nomadic tribes out, by constructing walls all along the northern border of China. Unlike earlier fortifications, the Qing construction was stronger and more elaborate due to the use of bricks and stones instead of rammed earth, with up to 25,000 watchtowers estimated to have been constructed on the wall. As Mongol raids continued periodically over the years, the Qing devoted considerable resources to repair and reinforce the walls. Sections near the Qing capital of Beijing were especially strong. This new and improved version of the Great Wall gave China's northern territories the impression they were seemingly invulnerable. Impressions may be deceiving, however. As well as the Mongols, the Qing Dynasty also faced intense attacks from the Manchus. Initially beginning as raids, by 1644, they had turned their interest to full conquest. Incredibly, they were successful in crossing the Great Wall and marched on to Beijing, consequently ending the Ming Dynasty. Now under Qing rule, China's borders extended beyond the walls, and Mongolia was annexed into the empire, so constructions were discontinued. Furthermore, the nature of warfare was beginning to change, and the threat of the Golden Horde of Genghis Khan a distant memory, meaning less emphasis was being placed on its maintenance than in previous centuries. Strangely, prior to the 19th century, there are few accounts of the Great Wall of China by European and North African explorers. The North African traveller Ibn Battuta, who visited China in 1346, had heard about the walls, but could find no one who had either seen them or knew of anyone who had seen them, suggesting, although there were remnants of the walls at the time, they were not significant. Similarly, European accounts from the 16th and 17th centuries were almost entirely based on hearsay, as opposed to being first-hand. It wasn't until China opened its borders to foreign merchants and visitors after its defeats in the First and Second Opium Wars that the Great Wall became a main attraction for tourists. The travel logs of the later 19th century further enhanced the reputation and the mythology of the immense fortification. Though the wall is still spectacular, only certain sections of it are used for touristic purposes, with large swathes of it in disrepair. A report by the National Cultural Heritage Administration states that 22% of the Ming Wall has disappeared, with more sections expected to follow the same fate in the coming decades. Though attempts have been made to repair the wall, the methods and materials used in such instances has been met with a lot of criticism. This leaves us with the final burning question. Is the Great Wall of China visible from space? In popular culture, it is commonly believed that the Great Wall is so great, in fact, that one could not only see it from space, but even from the moon. Interestingly, this isn't a new idea. One of the earliest known references to the thought that the Great Wall can be seen from the moon appears in a letter written in 1754 by Englishman William Stukely. Stukely wrote, "The Chinese wall, which makes a considerable figure upon the terrestrial globe, may be discerned at the moon." This claim crops up again by Henry Norman in 1895, where he states, "Besides its age, it enjoys the reputation of being the only work of human hands visible from the moon." Impressive claims indeed, but what does the science tell us? It's not true, unfortunately. Observing it from the moon at least, with the apparent width of the Great Wall from the moon being the same as that of a human hair viewed from 2 miles away. It is visible from low Earth orbit though. Nevertheless, NASA claims it is barely visible, and only so under perfect conditions, as long as you know where to look. So there you have it. Whilst the Great Wall cannot be seen from the moon, it is nonetheless an epic cultural achievement, a true wonder of the world. Thank you for joining us at Canned History. If you enjoyed the video and would like to see more, then like, comment and subscribe.